Welcome back to the place that truly helps you make changes. You are using your negative states as water to dampen your fire, when really you should be using your negative states as fuel to set it ablaze at an even greater level. Due to the world we live in right now, it is very easy to let the consistent acute stressors get the best of us. Or because of our poor sleep and our poor diet, not be able to have much control over our emotional, mental, and sometimes physical state. And that can translate into your manifestation. That can end up having us being like, oh my God, I've had a negative thought, spiral, spiral, spiral. Oh my God, I had a doubt, panic, 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 and so on. So then we have a negative, and then we panic about the negative, which only reinforces the negative, and then we wonder why we're experiencing negative. When what you really should be doing is using that negative as a fuel to do the right thing. If you have a negative thought, say about your specific person leaving, just as an example, that in that moment should be used as, I don't want that. And I know that if I invest my time and energy into that, I run the risk of creating it. So what should I do instead? Well, if I know I don't want that, then I should be doing X, Y, Z, thinking positively, regulating, going and doing something more productive for myself so I don't experience it. A negative thought coming up, or a negative experience, or a negative feeling coming up is not the problem. The problem is where you take it. Let's have two people identical in nature, two of me, and they both have the same exact experience in the same exact moment. Getting left on red by their person is the example we're going to go with. Who do you think is more likely to succeed going forward? The one that goes, oh my God, I've been left on red. What did I do? How am I going to get this to change? Oh my God, what if they don't ever respond? What if they delete me? What if they remove me from their profile picture and they go in that panic? Or the person who goes, that didn't feel good getting left on red. All right, I don't want that to happen again. Let me calm myself down now. Let me do some breath work, and then let me use that as a fuel, as a reminder of why I should get back on consciousness and do the right thing. Which one do you think not only has more capability, resilience, and persistence in the process, but also the one that a day, 2 days, a week, a month, however long it will be, is going to come out on top? Is absolutely the latter. And if you're in the former right now, because of the way the world is set up and everything, I don't blame you, but it is time to make some changes. It is time to start using that negative as a fuel instead of as a dampener. Start noticing when something has happened and gone, I don't want that to ever happen again. It's only ever going to happen again if I do X, Y, Z negative thing, panic, doubt, spiral, immerse myself in it, yada, yada, yada. I want the good thing. How do I create that? Well, I go inward. I regulate, I live in the end, I detach, I do all of these good stuff. And you use it as fuel for you to do the right thing. We do this all the time on a day-to-day basis. The energy and the effort that you put in to make a nice meal is purely only there because if you don't, you starve to death. The energy that gets you up, or the effort that gets you up at 7 a.m. to go work a job that you don't like, is purely so you can earn money so you can survive. Every single day, we are doing things to avoid a negative outcome. This is the same thing. Use the negative thoughts, the negative feelings, the negative circumstances as a reminder to why you should be doing the right stuff. Why you should be regulating, why you should be living in the end anyway, even in spite of what the 3D is showing you, why you should keep on going when you don't want to. If you can go to a job you hate because you want to survive, then you should do the manifestation work because you want the outcome, even when everything is showing the opposite. Every single day we are doing these things. Every single day, every single one of us, some big, some small. I did those symbols the wrong way around. But every single one of us is doing things because we don't want the negative. Your manifestation process, when the negative comes up, should be the same thing. Obviously, if you're already in a good mood, if you're already in a good state, then enjoy it for what you're going to create and have fun doing it. I'm talking purely when the negative comes up in this instance. But when the negative comes up in this instance, You don't want to experience that again. So why would you immerse yourself in it with the doubts, the panics, the fears, the falling apart, which is what's going to create it again? Instead, use it as fuel for your fire so you do the right stuff, so you don't do it again. During this whole manifestation process, since I've been coaching on here, there's only been one, partially two, but 1 month where I didn't do well financially due to my own inner concerns. And I had some things. I was going self-employed fully for the first time. So obviously I had some panics that I hadn't dealt with before. And I ended up having a bit of a struggle month. Not so much that I actually, went without food or anything like that, or couldn't afford the bills, luckily. But it wasn't as nice of a month as every other month had always been. And that one experience was enough for me to kick my ass into gear. And I have never had a month even remotely close to that negatively since, because I know that if I let myself dwell in the negative and go back to the same sort of mindset I was in back then, I will experience another negative month. So now I use that experience as a fuel to make sure that I'm always on my mindset consciousness. If I ever have I can't afford that, or a doubt about money, or if I see something online that's like, oh, the market's going to crash, I make sure I regulate and I live in the end anyway, because I know I want to avoid that negative situation again. So I bring abundance to mind even when there's no abundance in front of me directly in that moment. I bring regulation to a process that I do because I know that it will help me avoid that thing and create what I want. I use that terrible month as fuel to make sure it never happens again. You should be doing the same thing. You should be looking at that negative thought or that negative feeling, and definitely those negative circumstances, and going, fuck that. I never want to experience that again. I'm only going to experience it again if I dwell in it, panic, doubt, fear, fall apart, double, triple, quadruple text, check every 10 minutes if they've deleted me from their photo, check if I'm blocked, crying about it, telling my family, telling my friends, commenting, manifestation doesn't work, Matthew, you're a fraud on YouTube. I avoid all that because that's only going to make it happen again or make it happen more. Instead, what gets me what I want is residing in the end, so I can show my subconscious mind this story that I want to experience. Regulating my nervous system so I'm not so panicked the next time it happens, if it does. Building resilience, building myself up. Because we only grow in harsh realities. Show me a trust fund, baby, and I will show you someone who has very little capability. And I mean that in a very nice way, as nice as I could possibly say it. But then show me someone who has gone through a very terrible childhood, had a lot of struggles and trials and tribulation, and they are the most resilient motherfuckers that you will ever meet. Eminem, one of the greatest rappers to ever exist, came from a harsh background. Mike Tyson, one of the greatest fighters to ever live, come from a harsh background. I could go on and on and on about all of these different people who have hit peaks in fields and they've come from harsh backgrounds. There is nowhere near as many people who have had cushy lives their entire way hitting those same levels. So when you are having a harsh reality, just like Monday's video, go back to Monday's video for this next section if you want a full explanation of it. But when you are having a harsh moment or a harsh reality or something bad is going on, use it for growth. Because that is your opportunity. That is telling you where your next foot going forward should be. And if you can listen to it without the panic, the doubt, the fear, all that negative, and you can actually look at it for its lesson, look at it for the door that it is opening for you, you will be the top of your field. You'll become the best manifester. You'll become the best boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife. You'll become the best musician. You'll become the best actor. You'll become the best in your job. Doesn't matter what it is. If you can learn from your trials and tribulations, you will go forward so much better than the person that doesn't have trials and tribulations at all. Trials and tribulations aren't a bad thing. They're not even a sign that you're doing it wrong inherently, if you can take the right thing from them. So from this moment forward, you need to be using your negative as fuel for what you should be doing going forward, and you should be learning the lessons from it. And if you can do that, then you will, from a manifestation perspective, be exactly like the people that you look up to and you'll be the one telling other people how they can manifest their people and their jobs and their so on. So I really hope this video has helped. I know it's a little bit more, without sounding corny or like some sort of alpha male podcaster, more of a raw, unfiltered video. But it is true. Times are tough. And when they're tough, it is very easy to fall apart. But when you fall apart, you go nowhere. When you learn, you grow and you'll get better and you'll become stronger so that the next time times are tough, you can laugh in their face and still manifest what you want. But I really hope this video has helped. If it has, do let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you need help from me one-to-one, I am available to help you. I'm not even going to give you the whole usual pitch. If you are willing to make changes, I am there to help you do it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I can't remember if I said that, and I'll see you in the next one.